For early access to more videos like this, plus exclusive content, community discussions, and more, become a patron at patreon.com/BrucePoinsett.
Just for me, it's also just a sense of like duty of like, I'm all for, regardless of what I'm doing, if whatever position I'm in, if I could have any influence over, you know, um, Black people not feeling anxious walking down the street, if I could have any influence over, just the other day, my neighbor was telling me the other night, she witnessed a young black man get pulled over, um, and 16 cops showed up for this one kid. And she was yelling out the window, I'm watching you, I'm watching. All of them had their guns drawn. And this is after the Capitol. And so things are still happening, right? Even amidst all of these things and all the light bulbs that white people are having now of like, I can't believe this is happening. It's always been happening. It's continuing to happen. And if I had any influence or could have any influence on these things and on preventative measures and preventing things like this young man being pulled over by 16 cops, I feel it's my duty to somehow help, in preventing those things happen, whether I'm, being an educator or I'm just a citizen, just being a mother. I think for me as a mother, if I could be in a position or have the opportunity where I could prevent or influence things like these happening, I'm all for it. But that's like my thing and my duty and my purpose, or how I see, my purpose. And we're living in a time that, is so scary, but at the same time, it's so exciting because this is how real change happens, is when in the midst of chaos, right?
Right.
It's not going to get any better. We're going to witness a whole lot of horrific things, I feel. But listening, as you said earlier, and talking about youth, like I have conversations with my 16-year-old and my 18-year-old, and they got this. And I'm not putting it all on the youth, because I'm still here and kicking, and I still can contribute as well. But these young people that I've talked to, like, they are so on it. And so I feel hopeful in them, growing up in this time. And I call them the Obama generation, because they grew up, their first president was Obama for the first 8 years of their life. So they grew up in, wanting to create change and wanting to, to serve others. Like, so they know, they have this sense of it. And to hear them talking about voting for the first time and pre-registering and like, what needs to happen, I'm like, as crazy and chaotic as things are right now, it's necessary, because stuff doesn't happen unless you got to shake it, right? And we are being shook right now. We're in the middle of being shook. And a lot of who are being shook right now are white folks, which, welcome to the party. Welcome to reality. You're getting a big dose of that right now, where you can now not unsee it. But that's needed for the systems that need to change, is they need to see, and again, I go back to the youth, and I'm talking about all kind of kids, white kids, black kids, like they are on it. So I feel hopeful. It's scary, but I'm going to be doing my duty to assist these young people in creating the change in the world that they want to live in, and they want their children to live in. And I'm gonna, do my best to support that. And again, if there's any way that I would have influence to prevent more Black people from dying or from feeling anxious about just being in the world, then I'm going to do my best to do that.
Yeah. Just to that point about, the younger generation, I mean, it's just, objectively just more organized than, you know, it's like I graduated from high school in 2007. The idea that, you know, there would be BSUs at both high schools in Lake Oswego, you know, it still kind of blows my mind. Never mind that, you know, some of the things these kids are doing, like it's not like even just getting together would have been a big deal.
Yeah.
Never mind, you know, organizing demonstrations, you know, putting on
Yep.
assemblies, doing, you know, youth mentorship programs. Like as you know, like you said, yeah, it gives you hope, and it's not to, you know, again, not to put it on them and just say, well, you know, they've got it. No, no, they are on it, and also we are out here. We have our
Yep.
experiences and the lessons we've learned, and you know, we're able to build on what other generations were doing. You know, I mean, even though, like, when we kind of bring it back to talking about the school experience, like,
Yeah.
you know, generations before ours was like, you know, it was like the busing generation, and we were kind
Hmm.
of like, you know, the families that moved into the suburbs and took it to that next level, and now we're kind of like taking those lessons and uh, it was kind of like synthesizing those experiences and, you know, trying to take it the next step further, connecting people in these, you know, yeah, we may get, you know, split up and kind of like spread out around here. We're like, okay, we know what that means. We know what it's like to be isolated. Let's create things to connect us. You
Right.
know, let's keep, yeah, we're just going to keep filling in what needs to be filled in, keep building. And yeah, we're in a scary, chaotic time, but like you said, that's where change happens. That's when change happens.